This conference will now be recorded.
So we got Mr. Antonio Ellis here for all those out there who are going to be seeing this. Antonio is the individual that a lot of people have been hearing about who was, it was announced here recently, contracted the coronavirus in the Lake County Jail. Um, I wanted to give him an opportunity to speak on it for himself so everybody can see and hear, catch, I guess, try to correct some of these misconceptions that people have out there because if you don't never hear from directly from the individual, you got to kind of be cautious about what you believe. So here he is right now. So Antonio, before we get too deep into this, how are you doing?
I'm doing a lot better than I was a week ago. I'm doing a lot better. I'm in a better place now.
Hmm. Okay. So insofar as the virus is concerned, what was it that told you that you were sick in the first place?
Just like I tell everybody else that I talk to is that I'm an adult, and then you kind of like growing up, you get kind of used to your body gets kind of used to knowing what it is. Like if you got a cold, you just know from the symptoms, like from having experience with it, that that's a cold. But when I started having symptoms of the corona, my body automatically told me like this is something different because of the different range of symptoms that I was experiencing at one time. You know, I started to realize like this is definitely something different. And you asked me what were some of the symptoms that I was experiencing in the beginning, which is I woke up first with a headache, then the fever. The second time I woke up, I was laying in my sweat, like I had been sweating all night and I didn't feel it. And then I woke up, my equilibrium was off. That's how I knew like this ain't something ain't right here. You know, I don't know if that answers your question or you want me to go into further
It,
details when
it,
I
it,
contacted the nurse.
yeah, that's what I'm at. When you realized that something wasn't right, what was the next step for you?
The next step, and after I realized something wasn't right, and at this point, let me throw that in there too. At this point, at least 5 or 6 other inmates had been complaining. There was one guy in there, a Hispanic guy, whose eye was bloodshot red. His right eye was bloodshot red, and it was puffed up. Like everybody's bodies is reacting different. It was just weird. And I told the CEO, I said, hey man, can you get the nurse to come up here and get me some type of Tylenol or ibuprofen or something? So he called the nurse. The nurse came up and gave me the Tylenol. Tylenol didn't do anything for me. I'm being honest. I took the Tylenol, laid back down, and then the diarrhea came. You know, and then I started complaining. Thursday night, I started complaining about my breathing. Sorry, my low battery power. Sorry, power. Um, Thursday, I
You
started
need
complaining
do
about
you
my
need to charge
breathing.
your phone?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I'll be fine. I can just move over here and continue to. But I complained about my breathing. One of the nurses from the jail came up and she put the scope thing on my lungs and was like, "You're fine. Go lay down." You know. And
How long have you been in the jail at this point?
at this point, it's probably my 43rd day because this was the April 8th, and I got out on my 47th day, so which was the Monday after. So probably like my 40th. I'm thinking about like my 40th day probably, or my
Okay.
something between my 40th and 45th day.
Okay.
You know,
So clearly you contracted inside because you had been in there like 40 days.
absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, I'm. This is one thing I'm gonna say, man, and I know for a fact that I contracted it in the Lake County Jail because everybody up there was sick. Everybody on that floor was complaining about something, whether it be their chest, whether it be a headache, whether it be like a sore throat. Everybody was complaining about something. I personally feel as if the Lake County jail did not take heed. They didn't take it as serious as they should have took it. That's the major part right here. That's the biggest part where Lake County Jail was lacking is that they did not take it as serious. We were watching the news. We watch the news all day. How did if you can and not to kind of get off subject because we're gonna keep it on the coronavirus, but like we were as inmates, we got common sense. We were kind of tracking it. We heard it was in New York. Okay, we ain't dumb. We heard it was in Indiana. Okay, then we heard it was in Chicago. Then we hearing about Stateville. Then we hearing about Cook County. Then in Wisconsin. All of a sudden, it just skips Lake County, huh? That's the issue that I have is that I felt like that when they found out that I was sick, also, which was Friday, uh, I forgot the date was last Friday, but I got a call. No, actually, what happened was is that I was asleep on my bunk. I got woken up by the CO. Okay, at this point, I'm asleep. I'm out of it. You know what I mean? He tells me that my attorney wants to talk to me, and this is out of the blue. Like I'm like, he said call him at 9 o'clock. So I get up and I brush my teeth and stuff like that, and I get on the phone. I mean, I go to the CO and I'm like, okay, you have his number? Because I'm getting ready to think that, he wanted me to call him from the payphone, from use my, my debt, what's on my books. He's like, no, he wants you to call him from the desk. That's how I knew, like, it was something important, something serious. So I called my, he dials the number for me. I get on the phone with him. He's like, yeah, man, I tried to come and see you yesterday, but they said you were sick. He's like, how you feeling? I'm at this point, I'm still like in the fog. I'm still kind of groggy. And he's like, yeah, man, the state found out you were sick and they told me to get you out of there. So I'm like, really? It totally just threw me off, man. I'm talking about, and I'm gonna open up and tell the people this, that like the charges that I was facing, I was supposed to at least do some type of penitentiary time behind that. You know what I mean? Well, that's the norm. I don't have a background, but I just knew from the seriousness of the case, from the seriousness of the case, I felt like they suspected something was wrong with me. Whoever was reporting behind the scenes about my case was definitely keeping in touch with the state, because they definitely got me. 2 days later, I was out. I went to court, and they granted me the paperwork. I didn't even sign the paperwork inside the courtroom, which is the crazy part about it. They had us go to all these different sections of the courthouse, and I even overheard a couple of COs saying that they were like, why are we taking these why are we taking these inmates all over the courthouse when they can probably be sick? Like this is ridiculous. Like they were even complaining about it, and it was just this whole situation is just weird, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. This situation is weird, man. It's just I feel like the Lake County Jail, even though we are criminals, okay, and I get that. I'm not even gonna say criminals. Like everybody in there ain't even convicted, but still, I feel like just because we did something wrong, that don't mean that doesn't take away right from wrong. You know what I mean? That doesn't take away right from wrong. The principle of right and wrong still stands, even if a person did something bad. And I feel like Lake County Jail, to some degree, should be held accountable, man, for their lack of concern for inmates. It's not like we wasn't complaining. We have been complaining all that prior week up until me having the visible symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
We have been complaining about that. So it's not like they didn't know, like, oh my, it's not like it caught them out of nowhere, like, oh, everybody's sick now all of a sudden. Then I read the report. If you read the first report let out by, I forgot who wrote it, but the first one contradicts the second one.
You mean the newspaper report?
Huh?
You mean the newspaper report, right?
Yes, sir. The newspaper reports. They both, if you really read them, they both kind of contradict each other.
In what way?
In the first article, it was saying that nobody else has been reported sick. But if you see in the second one, I think I had quoted it or something like that to a reporter that everybody was sick up there. I wasn't the only one sick.
Right.
I don't know what they get out of that or what they trying to, but I was definitely not the only one sick, man. I could name 3 people right off back that I know was sick. Like,
and did you see any precautions being taken? Like, were people wearing face masks? Did they pass out gloves and masks to you guys?
They started passing off masks. I think I had a mask for 3 days before I left. That was even late, you know. But they did give us masks. I will say that. But as far as what they were using to sanitize the deck, man, I feel like to me it smelled like Windex. I don't know what they were using to sanitize everything, but then they got something called pod workers up there. You got these guys going after people now that they know it's definitely up there. You got pod workers up there, that are going out there. They get paid like a phone call in a week and an extra tray, that are going out there and cleaning up after everybody. Putting themselves at risk. So.
And but are they protected? Do they have the proper protections?
Yeah, they were wearing gloves and stuff too.
Okay.
But from the way the media describes this, they making it seem like you can get it from it lives in the air, man. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, I think one of the things that concerns me is that, okay, mathematically, it looks like there's no other way but that you received that virus from inside the jail. So where did you get it from? I'm curious about that. Where did you get it from? What person did you contract the virus from? Now you clearly don't know. I mean, it doesn't
I
knock you
got
on
an
the shoulder
idea,
and say I got it from this person, but
right? I got an
um,
idea, but I don't know.
right. But the problem with that is the fact that nobody knows. To me, it makes me say that everybody should be tested, and that's the only way that you're really going to know where it's at or whatever, is to test everybody. And that's my hope, is that they start the process of doing exactly that. Where you're concerned, you're one person who was inside of that jail. You did contract the virus in there. There are over 600 other individuals who are there right now, and somebody has to be out here speaking up for them. So I appreciate that you came home and you was willing to put your face on it, man, and let everybody know what was going on. You sounded the alarm. So now it looks like more and more people are starting to become more interested because of you and what's going on with those guys in there. One thing that you did say just now that stuck out to me, um, you're basically saying that even if individuals had committed crimes, you're not saying that you did or didn't, and I don't think that needs to be said. But even if individuals did commit whatever crimes, you're saying they're still human. They still have rights.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
And it to me, like I said, man, with this situation, man, Lake County did not take proper protocol. They did not take this serious for some reason. For what that reason
Hmm.
is, I don't know. But we're watching this on the news as it got closer and closer to us. When it got to Cook County Jail, we were like, well, basically, it's here now. When we
Right.
heard that, because
Yeah.
most of the correctional officers that work at Lake County Jail live in Chicago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's here now. Once we heard that, but it wasn't being told to us. And then all of a sudden, we all get sick. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
You didn't see any staff members who were sick though.
I did actually.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I
Okay.
did actually. I mean, I don't know if
No.
they had corona, but I definitely seen a couple of them coughing. I mean, I can't, but we can't sit up here and say it
Right.
was
Right.
corona.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know.
One other thing you pointed out earlier was that your public defender kind of fought for you, so you wanted to make sure that that was known, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. The attorney that I had, man, he definitely did a great job, and he definitely cares about
Okay.
human beings.
Good.
But as far as the state goes, I mean, he did relay a message to me from the state,
Hmm.
and that the state has said that when they found out that I was sick, to get me the hell out of there.
Got you. Now, do you see that as a positive or a negative that they did that? Do you feel like if you weren't, did you feel like you were almost pressured because of your health to actually sign a plea? Would you have signed that plea if you weren't sick?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I kind of feel like if I would have fought the case, I probably had a good chance of beating it. But the mindset
Okay.
that I was in at that time, I want to get the hell out of there, man. I mean, I'm seeing people around me sick, and it just see, it's a different feeling when you in there and you see what's going on around you, and everybody's all hopeless, and we all telling each other we gonna die in there, And to me, it's kind of like, yeah, I took it, but do I see it as a good thing? Yeah, because it could have been a lot worse. Because the crime, that I'm allegedly, uh, being, that it happened, the crime that happened, it carries a lot of time. But at the same time, was it right? Was the motive right for giving it to me? I think about that sometimes too. Like, yeah, yeah. Here, take this 3 years probation. Get out of here. He ain't gonna say no. I do kind of feel like that. He ain't gonna say nothing about what's going on in here because we just gave him 3 years probation, for a crime we should have sent him to down the river for. So let's see, and that's the way I feel. I feel like they kind of like did that. Like here, it's kind of like how they say hush money. Like they kind of gave me like a hush thing. Like here, just take this and we'll just get out of here and be quiet.
Right.
You know.
Right. Hmm. Well, I guess that depends on how, people gonna look at it different ways. The bottom line is you are in the streets right now. You was able to go straight to the hospital and get yourself checked out. They did diagnose you with the
Yeah.
coronavirus. And
And also, I would do want to note this for people who are saying that some people are questioning the credibility of my test, whatever. If they look at the paper that I sent out, you know, it has lab results and it has diagnosis. So a person also, Lutheran General Hospital located in Park Ridge actually reported Lake County Jail to Lake County Health Department. And I got a call from the head nurse at the Lake County Health Department. So, I mean, you know, for just to let people know.
And I think also it's important, as soon as you found out about your diagnosis, you contacted the sheriff's department. Is that right?
Yes, I did. I contacted the sheriff's department because it was the right thing to do. You know, I felt like they should have definitely known it was in there. Everybody in there that was on the floor I was on, we had an idea, you know, but we definitely, I think I did the right thing by doing that.
And how did they take it when you talked to them?
Oh shit, you know,
yeah.
Oh shit, really? Oh man, dude. Oh, you know, real panicky, and they even called me back and said we need proof. I said no problem. Give me an email. Took a picture of the lab results, sent it right to him.
Who do you know who that was that you sent the email to?
I think Lieutenant Reedy. I think his name was.
Okay.
I can check for you real quick, actually.
No, it's not necessary.
Okay, yeah.
And you also spoke with the probation department, right?
Yes, the director of the probation. I don't even know. I forgot his name too. But the director of the probation department called me, and he was very upset about it because he. And you know, that's an interesting thing to me too, is that like it's not just me tripping about this. You know, you got people that actually work there that are like, why haven't they said anything? You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing that that the probation officer or the director of the probation was saying. He was like, all they had to do was just walk down the street and tell us that at least people were sick. And he couldn't stress that enough. And, you know, I agree with him, man. I was like, even if people are sick, you kind of want to give people a heads up, because mind you now, people are getting out of the jail and getting on probation and have to go see these people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're not letting it be known, like at least that people are sick, and just have a precaution. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that if a person got out on probation, the probation department should know, because the probation officers have to get in that person's face.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So why wouldn't they be alerted that the new person on their docket potentially has this illness? So you need to protect yourself.
Even the person that's getting out on house arrest, Anthony. If I'm getting out on house arrest, you got an officer that's going to have to come out and set the box up. You know, I just infected you and you don't even know. You're just doing your job, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's crazy. There's a T, and that's the way I'm looking at it. I've been thinking about it. There's a collateral damage that comes along with this that they don't see. You know what I mean? And they don't want to be. I don't know if they want to be held accountable for it or not, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that they at least be held accountable to whatever extent that is, to make sure that they, next time this happens. Matter of fact, you know, man, it's crazy, man. I get upset about it because I don't know, man. I don't feel like the jail. Let me get this out the way too. I don't feel like they owe me anything. You know, I don't feel like the jail owes me anything, and I'm not doing this for no attention. The number one thing that I thought about, Anthony, when I got that test, the positive test back, was the guys that I got close to in there. You know what I mean? I got close to 3 or 4 guys in there, and they all were sick. You know, and I was thinking about them. So I'm like, man, is there any way I can do anything, man, that I can do, man, to help these guys out or something, man? You know, because it's sad. Some of them don't even have family. You know.
Right. And yeah, it's important that you said that, because you know, one of the first things that people want to say, you know, is that you're trying to chase a bag, right? You're trying to sue for millions or whatever. But in actuality, your number one concern is ensuring that the guys you left in there are taken care of, right? So
exactly.
that's a good look. I wanted to also point out, from my understanding, you have yet, because you had to go to quarantine as soon as you got home, you quarantined yourself.
Exactly. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen none of my family. I haven't seen nobody.
Right.
You know, I haven't came in contact with none of my kids or nothing since I've been out. Been out for a week now.
I think people underestimate you know, the trauma, right, that comes with your own mortality. Because you have to sit there and say to yourself, it was interesting to hear you speak earlier. You was like, you guys were saying to yourself, we're gonna die in here.
Yeah, we were.
And that's gotta
honest
be
to God truth.
That's got to be a horrible feeling just to sit there and wake up every day and wonder whether or not you're gonna be alive tomorrow.
Right. And
So
I constantly think, like, what are they doing in there, man? Like, what are they doing? Like, are they? I mean, you said from your sources, there's still nobody still has been tested up until this point, right?
as I understand it, and I want to be careful about putting information out because you'll get different information from different sources.
Right.
But I'm still going to check to confirm. But my hope is that individuals are starting to be tested. But I know as of a couple of days ago, nobody had been tested.
Because there ain't no way you can tell me, from the way the media describes this illness, can't nobody tell me that I'm the only one who had it. That's impossible. I'm not gonna go for that.
Well, it's impossible because you contracted it there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I'm
Yeah.
reading articles and I'm hearing people talk. From my resources, they're still saying that nobody else is displaying symptoms and all. I'm like, how you gonna tell me I just left from there?
Well, I think one of the points is that when people start speaking about symptoms, right? If you're looking for 103-degree temperature and people come in with 101, then you're not displaying symptoms because you got a bar that's way up here. Whereas what I'm saying is it's more than one symptom for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And any of those symptoms should warrant testing. And you can't just say that because the person doesn't have a 104, 103 temperature, that's the only thing that makes it to whereas you're suspicious of whether or not they have the sickness. That's the wrong standard. So my hope is that right now they'll test everybody. If people start displaying symptoms, they'll quarantine them, put them to the side. I'm hoping that guys that have nonviolent offenses are ones in which they'll go ahead and consider letting up out of there because if you can decrease the population of the jail, you will decrease the chances that whatever may be there, that it'll spread. So that's my hope, man. So again, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to put out. I didn't want to keep you long. I really just wanted to put it out there, man. And one
No,
of the
I
other
pretty much
things I want
said how
you,
I
because
felt.
I know that you are in a hotel, I'm hoping also that people will consider you just got home from jail. You you were gone for at least a month or two, and you have expenses that are attached to what it is that you're doing right now to live. So people got to also keep in mind it's not easy. It's not easy for everybody that's still been out here, yet alone somebody just coming home. So if you had one last thing you wanted to leave with everybody, man, go ahead and put that out there, and then I'll let you go.
I just feel like, man, that you know, human beings in general, man, people need to understand that there's a difference between right and wrong. Like, believe it or not, man, when a person commits a crime and they go to jail, we think about what we did. Most people do. I ain't gonna lie, there's some sociopaths out there, but people think about what they did. Trust me. In the midst of that, it's kind of like, right is wrong, man. I'm just trying to stand on what's right, man.
Right.
I ain't chasing no bag. I just want if something comes out of this to where those some guys get free, they can go home to their families because you got people that's even contacted me. My husband's in there. My boyfriend's in there. Have you seen them? And people are concerned about that, man.
Right.
Because some of these
Right.
people have underlying health issues, man. This. I mean, I don't know, man. Some
And I
people
think
think.
that's real important what you're saying because people with those underlying health issues, anything from as basic as asthma or bronchitis or anything like that, like this is only going to make them more vulnerable and more susceptible to getting sicker.
Exactly.
So,
Yep. So,
all right, well, I definitely appreciate you coming on, big fella, and we'll stay in touch.
all right, my brother. Thank you for having me on, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Hello.